ॐ ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अमानित्वमदम्भित्वम् अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यमात्मविनिग्रहः। इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कार एव च जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम् असक्तिरनभिष्वङ्गः पुत्रदारगृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु मयि चानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिर्जनसंसदि अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वम् तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यततोऽन्यथा ज्ञेयं यत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते अनादिमत्परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतो शिशिरोमुखम् सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृच्चैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च बहिरन्तश्च भूतानाम् अचरं चरमेव च सूक्ष्मत्वात् तदविज्ञेयं दूरस्थं चान्तिके च तत् अविभक्तं च भूतेषु विभक्तमिव च स्थितं भूतभर्तृ च तज्ज्ञेयं ग्रसिष्णुप्रभविष्णु च ज्योतिषामपि तज्ज्योतिः तमसः परमुच्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानगम्यं हृदि सर्वस्य विष्ठितम् ॐ तत्सत् Just give me a minute before I start sharing the screen. We finished the 14th. Sarvendriya gunabhasam sarvendriya vivarjitam asaktam sarvavrichaiva nirgunam gunabhoktracha. Yeah, we'll just read a little bit before that. So in the previous verse, chapter 4, in verse 14, Sarvendriya gunabhasam Sarvendriya vivarjitam asaktam sarvabhrachaiva nirgunam gunabhoktracha. The Brahman appears as the attributes of all the organs, is free from all the organs, is unattached, and is the sustainer of all, is free from the three qualities, and is the experiencer of the three qualities. Brahman appears in the form of all upadhis and their gunas. All the organs will include the jnanendriyas, sense organs, and also karmendriyas, organs of action. We also include the antahkarana with its functions of mind and intellect because neither the sense organs nor the organs of action can function without it. The ears and eyes etc. become upadhis for you to gain perception. With the help of the upadhi of antakarana alone, the conscious mind must first be there, and that mind must identify with the senses before they can gain their individual capacities. Shankara mentions a few of these gunas. The particular feature of the buddhi is ascertainment. Uncertainty, sankalpa and vikalpa is the feature of the mind. The resolve following this uncertainty, the nishchayatmika antakarana vritti, is the buddhi. What shines, avabhasate, in the form of the attributes or expressions of all these indriyas, is Nyayam Brahma, which has already been revealed as Atma. Where is Brahman? In every expression of the eyes, ears, etc. Brahman shines in that form. When you see, Brahman shines as the seeing function of the sense organ eyes. When you see, Brahman shines as the seeing function of the sense organ eyes. First, it was said that Brahman appears as all the upadhis, and here it is shown that it appears in the form of upadhi gunas also. However, it is free of all of them. The difficulty now is, if Brahman is always expressed in these forms, if all these attributes are intrinsic to Brahman and Atma is Brahman, I can never shake off seeing or hearing or talking. Therefore, Bhagavan says, Sarvendriya Vivarjitam, free from all organs. It is free from all the senses, organs of action, and the mind. That is why they are called upadhis. If a stone is naturally blue in color, then the blueness is not due to upadhi. But suppose it is a crystal near a blue object, then that object is upadhi to the crystal, accounting for its blue appearance. The attribute here is upadhi. Brahman appears with the attributes of all the indriyas and at the same time free from all the indriyas and their attributes. It is a paradox, but the truth is such that it can be unfolded only in this form. If the Atma is free from the body, etc., how do I have a body? Just give me 1 second. Give me a second, there's a problem with my screen share. However, it is free of all of them. We finish this, right? So, Brahman appears as the attributes of all the Indriyas and at the same time free from all of the Indriyas and their attributes. It is a paradox, but the truth is such that it can be unfolded only in this form. If the Atma is free from the body, etc., how do I have a body? These paradoxes exist only when you do not understand. This is all explainable, and once it is explained, there are no paradoxes. But these seeming paradoxes are important to reveal the nature of infinite Brahman. Are you not able to hear still?
I am here now. Okay.
Yeah, okay. But these seeming paradoxes are important to reveal the nature of infinite Brahman, which is not subject to time and upon which everything else depends for its existence. Firstly, by adhyaropa, by superimposing the attributes of all the organs, by saying sarvendriya gunabhasam, and then by negation, apavada, showing that it is free from all organs. Sarvendriya vivarjitam. The truth of Brahman is revealed. The connection between Satya and Mithya is always paradoxical. Through the activities of all the Indriyas, Brahman, which is inactive, is seemingly active. Elsewhere, Shruti says that Atma, as though meditates, dhyayati iva, and is as though agitated, lelayati iva. Both are mithya. This extends to all activities without exception. Brahman eats, as it were, because it is as though hungry. The paradoxes arise because the whole thing is the connection between Satya and Mithya. where there is no possibility of connection. Though Atma is not active, it appears to be active through the expressions of the sense organs, organs of action, and the mind. These expressions are not possible without the presence of Atma. That does not mean that there are two entities and that you have to transcend all these indriyas to get to the Atma. Atma remains transcended in spite of being active. That is why it was presented as abhasa. It appears active in the form of the expression of senses, mind, etc. It appears active but is itself not active. The difference must be very clearly seen. Otherwise, we will have a duality of one entity which is active and the other which is not. These indriyas do not exist without the existence, satta, of Atma, and do not express without the consciousness, chaitanya, of Atma. The senses, etc., partake of the consciousness, that is the Atma, and the existence of any one of them is not away from the existence that is the Atma. Shankara explains further that Brahman, which is Atma, is not to be understood as always as that which has activities. If that were so, you could not stop the activities and still be. But you do stop and you also switch from one activity to another. That is possible because Atma is not active. Shruti also says, without hands and feet, Atma runs and grasps. Without eyes, he sees. Aparnipado javano grahita pashyatya chakshuhu. That means it is free from all the upadhis, but always the expression is in keeping with the upadhi. With the hands, it becomes the one grasps. With the legs, the one who walks, etc. With the ears, the one who hears. Thereby, the expressions Sarvendriya Gunabhasam and Sarvendriya Vivarjitam are both perfect. There is no contradiction, but until the meaning is understood, there appears to be one. Because we are dealing with Satya and Mithya, Adhyaropa and Apavada is to be done. From the standpoint of the Upadhi, it performs all activities. From the standpoint of its Swarupa, it is free from movement. So these are the two things we have to keep in mind when dealing with Satya and Mithya, Adhyaropa and Apavada, superimposition and negation. When what Shruti says does not seem possible, then we have to see the context. We know that the sentence is meaningful because it is a statement of the Shruti. So, it is just a question of correct understanding. If an intelligent person says, the white runs, I cannot dismiss the statement as meaningless. By seeing the context, I understand that he is saying that the white horse is running. His original statement is one of implication, a Lakshana Vakya. We understand Sarvendriya Gunabhasa as a Lakshana for the Lakshya, which is Sarvendriya Vivarjita. So the intelligent person, when he says white runs, so here we should understand that the Shastra is the intelligent person, so to say. So whatever the Shastra is saying has a meaning. We have to just understand the meaning. It's the implied meaning. Brahman is asakta. Because it is free from all indriyas, it is asakta, totally detached. You are not connected to your mind or senses, and therefore are not connected to the world through the mind and senses. You are not connected to your mind or senses, and therefore are not connected to the world through the mind and senses. Physically, you can attach one thing to the other, like a ring to a finger. Then we have other forms of attachment to the world, like emotional attachments. These are inevitable in life. But if, without a particular object, life seems empty, we must understand that the object has become an obsession. First, it is an acquaintance, then an object of friendship, then love, then obsession. Up to it being an object of love, we have no problem. It is the obsession that we call samslesha, attachment. We get attached to the world through the body, mind, and senses. But Atma is Sarvendriya Vivarjita. Since it is free from all senses, etc., it has no way of getting attached to anything. It is asakta. Even though it is detached, it sustains everything. Though it is detached, it is attached to everything. Sarvabhrit eva. In that, it sustains everything. Sarvam bibharti. Like the rope sustains the snake in the sense that without it, there is no snake. All mithya is dependent upon satya. When the mind is functioning, consciousness is present there. So it sustains the mind. It also sustains the senses and the whole creation, being the adhishtana, the basis for the entire creation. Everything has its being in Sadatma, because in everything that you know or do not know, there is the is cognition. First, is established, and only then can anything else be established. That is self-established, and everything else only an object of cognition dependent upon that existence. Shankara says that even an imagined thing like mirage water is not without basis. The snake that you see on the rope depends upon the rope, in that the existence of the rope is the existence of the snake. Thus, because everything is sustained, there must be a sustaining factor. That is Brahman. Let me know if you want a repeat of this.
Yes, please.
Brahman is asakta. Because it is free from all indriyas, it is asakta, totally detached. You are not connected to your mind or senses, and therefore are not connected to the world through the mind and senses. Physically, you can attach one thing to the other, like a ring to a finger. Then we have other forms of attachment to the world, like emotional attachments. These are inevitable in life. But if, without a particular object, life seems empty, we must understand that the object has become an obsession. First, it is an acquaintance, then an object of friendship, then love, then obsession. Up to it being an object of love, we have no problem. It is the obsession that we call samslesha, attachment. We get attached to the world through the body, mind, and senses. But Atma is Sarvendriya Vivarjita. Since it is free from all senses, etc., it has no way of getting attached to anything. It is asakta.
What
So
would be the signs of obsession?
that is what? If you cannot live without it, that is,
Okay.
it makes your life, you think it makes your life complete unless you have it. That becomes an obsession. You become
Oh,
upset if you don't have it. Basically, you're having that raga towards it. And you're so attached that without it, your life is empty. See the train, how beautifully Swamiji is given. First, it is an acquaintance, then an object of friendship, then love, then obsession. As long as it is an object of love, we have no problem. But the problem comes when it becomes an obsession. Whereas Atma is Sarvendriya Vivarjita. It is not attached to any senses, free from all senses, and therefore there is no way of getting attached to anything. This is what we are. Asangoham, asangoham, asangoham punah punah. But the problem is that we get attached to the world through the body, mind, and senses. But Atma is Sarvendriya Vivarjita. Even though it
In
is detached,
previous,
yes,
sorry, in
yeah,
previous passage it is said it is every Brahman is everywhere in organs also and object also. Still, it
mm,
is means the connection I could not understand there. So
yeah. So that
Atma is
is, so we are talking of, that is what was mentioned, that the paradox is that uh, we are dealing with the connection between Satya and Mithya. Shruti tells us that Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, right? So the whole world is Mithya, is an illusion. So there you need to bring in order to understand this, that Brahman is everything. At the same time, he does not have any attributes. He is not attached to anything. You need to bring in the Adhyaropa and the Apavada, which is what we saw in the previous verse, the previous paragraph, is that he says the one that Brahman is to be understood as the one that has activities. At the same time, it is free from all the activities. It is inactive. So how do we understand this? Is because of this Adhyaropa. So all these, if you go back to that example of the crystal and the blue object in front of it, the crystal is Brahman. It does not have any color by itself. It does not have all the senses, sense organs, activities, all of that it's free from. It is the blue object that superimposes the blueness on the crystal. Similarly, it is the hands, the feet, the sense organs. They superimpose their functionality on the Atma. And therefore, it appears as if Atma is seeing, appears as if Atma is hearing. But actually, Atma is Sarvendriya Vivarjitam. It is free from all these attributes.
okay.
But without Atma, it cannot run.
They cannot
Work.
run. They
That
cannot
is
run.
important.
So that is the paradox. So that is why Swamiji is bringing that up as a paradox. And he's saying that In order to understand that, we need this adhyaropa and apavada. From the standpoint of upadi, it is there in everything. From the standpoint of the sense organs, the mind, intellect, Atma is there everywhere. But from the standpoint of the apavada, just go back to the apavada once. See, apavada is negation, showing that it is free from all the organs. Firstly, by adhyaropa, by superimposing the attributes of all the organs, by saying sarvendriya gunabhasam, and then by negation, apavada, showing that it is free from all organs, the truth of Brahman is revealed. Brahman is that isness in everything. That is only one that exists. All the others are just a superimposition.
Thank you.
Jai Gurudev, if a person is in coma state, so then still the Atma is there, but the person cannot perform any of the activities. So will we consider it to be a contradiction in this, like it is not going in line with this what we are reading, because
No.
it is that mind is not working, right?
Exactly. Why take coma? Even in deep sleep, when you're in deep sleep, is the world existent to you? It is
No,
not. No.
no.
But there is something deeper that is making you understand that when you wake up, you say, I had a very good sleep.
Yeah.
So that unchanging entity, which is a witness to all of this, is the Atma.
Is the Atma, right?
All else is mithya.
And even like a person, they say na, that even a person in coma, though he does not, he cannot speak or do activities, but still that awareness remains, and it is that his function, his body is not functioning, but the people go sit there, they talk. So it is not that they doesn't acknowledge, but only that their sensory motor functions are gone. So that awareness is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is that Atma, that consciousness.
Yeah.
Right.
It is like temporarily put on hold. Their functionality is put on hold.
Hold. Yeah.
But they're still breathing, the heart is still beating. Prana is still there in them.
Yeah.
In fact, even prana and all of these, see, everything apart from that isness is based on the upadi, on the Maya upadi, which includes the prana, all the pancha pranas, mind, intellect, sense organs, the body. As we go from subtle to gross, all of them are part of the mithya jagat.
So Sarvendriya Gunabhasha and
Gunabhasam,
Gunabhasam.
sarvendriya vivarjitam. So these
Vivarjitam was what? What was
vivarjitam,
Vivarjitam?
vivarjitam is free from all these attributes, free from all the
Okay.
sense organs.
Okay.
Which is why he
So
says,
a
no? Yeah, go ahead.
So will a comatose person is not able to hear, not able to, or is able to hear, but not able to speak?
He is
Yeah.
able to hear, but he cannot respond. He hears. That is why, people they convey to him, or they just talk. One-sided talk is going on. So they hear it.
I'm not sure whether he's
Yeah.
able to hear even, because his the brain functionality is like, it is like stalled, it is like put on hold. We don't
Yeah,
know.
that
So
sensory function is not there, but that statement, if someone is speaking, that is registered. I think that what I do not know much, but it is.
Yeah, we need to look at the auditory functions and see
Yeah.
whether if they are also functioning, then yes. Visual evoked responses, auditory evoked responses. So if that is there, then probably. But in a person who's in a deep state of coma, all his sense perceptions, I would think, are put on hold. Only his, his
That,
deeper levels,
that
like how it's only the base functionality, the medulla oblongata, those that preserve vital functions are still on, which is why all the cortical functions, I think, are put on hold.
Yeah, but the Atma part must be having some, like, it is having its, what can we say, we cannot say attribute. Atma must be showing some of how it must be presenting,
By the
that I was,
beating of the heart and by his breathing, if he's not on the ventilator and he's able to breathe, so the
yeah.
Atma aspect is showing up there as the prana, as the breath, as the beating heart.
So
Otherwise,
that awareness would be there, no? That, like, some awareness would be there. If Atma is there, then don't you think some awareness would be there for the
Atma
body?
is only witness there, no? It will not show any symptoms.
it is
Yeah,
just
the
like how we
witness
are in
is,
deep
so
sleep.
what does the witness do? He observes, he experience. So that is what I was thinking. Like, it must be witnessing everything, no? What is happening around. That awareness would be there, though
That
he cannot
isness, of course,
respond.
will be there.
Yeah,
See,
that
that is
isness
what
would be there.
isness is there.
Yeah,
Isness you cannot remove, no, from that.
yeah.
So isness is awareness. Awareness is Atma. Atma is life.
Huh.
Is that,
I
are
think
they all synonymous?
we have to go back to, remember, Suma, you had the same question when we went back to who am I?
Jai Gurudev.
Revisit who am I? Huh?
Isness is awareness. Awareness is Atma. Atma is life. Is that, are they all synonymous?
We have to go back to, remember why you have the same question when
Oh, why is there a repeat happening? 1 second, yeah. I think the YouTube is just give me a second.
Jai Gurudev, am I audible?
Yes, audible.
Yes, you are audible.
I think, say, Atma is like rays of the sun, but in its presence only everything is happening. But the how much the level of prana is, percentage of prana is, with respect to that, the senses, all the functioning of that jiva will be there. In that much proportion only, he will be able to perceive the things. So somebody said that what then Atma is doing. Yes, Atma is there even in the stone also. But the percentage of prana is very low in the stone. That is why the level of awareness is low. Not due to Atma reducing or increasing or anything. The functionality all depends on totally on the prana. Like how much current is flowing through, in that proportion only you will get the output. I think it makes little bit sense. The prana is the one who makes the thing move or makes the thing, the awareness. When the prana is very high, then only our awareness is at the highest. Then the way we perceive the things are very different when our prana is low. We get then caught up in the delusion and all negative things come up when the prana is low. So now when somebody
Can
is in the ICU, the depending on the level of prana, in that much proportion his awareness will be there. Does it make some sense, Brahmanaji?
you
Yes, so
remember that
prana is
advanced code technique?
energy.
Advanced course meditation. I am, if I'm happy or sad, I'm there. That meditation I'm remembering now. Whatever
Yeah,
is
but
there, but
that
isness is
also,
there.
yeah, but that isness is also, we are doing it almost like going through hollow and empties for 2 to 3 days. Then towards the end, after doing your meditation in motion, उतना highest level of prana ले जाके keeping the silence so much into deeper, then only that I am wala meditation comes, not initially. So much preparedness is you go through so much tapas, then that I am thing comes up and that dawns. When prana is the highest, you are completely, all five senses are almost withdrawn from everywhere. You are completely like into that
Correct.
mode. Then that prana, that meditation comes. I am. Still I am. Then you become really witness to everything when you are so centered and steady in that level, isn't it? Because just now I'm coming from intensive, I'm sorry, intensive MP.
So nice. Thank you.
So at that level, prana and awareness are one and the same. Is that correct?
No, awareness,
Because your prana is so high, your awareness is also high.
correct.
Prana is not equivalent to awareness.
No, not at all.
Prana is linked to awareness. The higher your prana, the more astute your awareness. But it is apart from awareness.
It is like how
Because
current, voltage, and the power. Power
We
at
have
the
to go
power
through
point
the
high.
Atma Bodha. What is Atma then?
Yeah.
Again.
If you go back to Tattva Bodha, where you know that first is what exists is only Brahman, and then Brahmashraya Maya, and from Maya all the Panchamahabhutas emerge. From the Panchamahabhutas, you have all the mind, intellect, all the sense organs, Panchapranas, all of them. The Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Shariras emerge from the Panchapranas with that Panchikarna. From with Panchikarna, there are the gross elements form, and from there how the Chittanta Karnani, all of that happens. So therefore, the prana is like an offshoot of Maya. So prana cannot be awareness. Prana is not equivalent to Brahma, but
yeah.
its existence depends upon Brahma. It is like the rope exists. Rope, if you consider, is Brahman. The rope exists. The snake is superimposed upon the rope. You will not think of the snake without the rope. So therefore, the whole Jagat is like the snake, and we have taken that as real, and we are getting tossed and turned over because we consider that as real. So the existence of the snake depends upon the existence of the rope. So therefore, prana and everything else, the sense organs, mind, intellect, their existence depends upon Brahma, but Brahma is independent of all of them. And it is as though Brahma, as though shines through these sense organs. When we hear, when we listen, when we see, it is as though Brahma is acting, is doing all this activity, but he is free from all of that. So that as though thing is that the connection between Satya and Mithya is the Adhyaropa and the Apavada. Adhyaropa is the superimposition, like that blue object on the crystal. Apavada is where you negate all these by saying Brahman alone is.
Like gold and jewelry.
Gold and jewelry. You take any of those. In fact, the whole of Atma Bodha is full of these similes, full of this connection between Satya and Mithya. Like the mother of pearl on that in that oyster shell, Shuktika Rajatam Yatha. Brahman is Nirguna. Now the problem that arises is that since Maya has its basis in Brahman, and since Maya consists of the three gunas, then would not Brahman also have the three gunas? To negate this, he says it is Nirguna. When the Trigunatmika Maya, Brahman, is the cause of creation, no doubt. With the Trigunatmika Maya, Brahman is the cause of creation, no doubt. But the Swarupa of Brahman is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Maya, the modifying cause for the Mithya creation, is also Mithya, and thus Brahman remains free from all the gunas and is Nirguna. At the same time, it
Can
is
you
Guna.
please read that again?
Yeah, I'll read this again. Brahman is Nirguna. Now, the problem that arises is that since Maya has its basis in Brahman, and since Maya consists of the three gunas, then would not Brahman also have the three gunas? To negate this, he says it is Nirguna. With the Trigunatmika Maya, Brahman is the cause of creation, no doubt. But the Swarupa of Brahman is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Maya, the modifying cause for the Mithya creation, is also Mithya. And thus, Brahman remains free from all the gunas and is Nirguna. At the same time, it is Guna Bhoktra. At the same time, Jneyam Brahma is the experiencer of the gunas. Guna Bhoktra. The three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, create different types of experiences through the organs of perception. Sattva can create some sukha, some pleasure or peace. Rajas can account for all kinds of agitation, and Tamas for delusion and dullness. Atma, which is Jneyam Brahma, is the enjoyer of all the various modifications of the gunas. Atma, which is Jneyam Brahma, is the enjoyer of all the various modifications of the gunas. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas cannot be enjoyed directly. It is their modifications that we enjoy. This means that we need not wait for Brahman to become something else in order to know it. Even when we are enjoying any particular experience, that experience is also Jnayam Brahma. It is because of Brahman alone that the experience is possible. Its existence is because of Sat. The experience of it is Chit, and any pleasure that there is Ananda. Elsewhere it is said, Asti Bhati Priyam Rupam Nama Cha Iti Amsha Panchakam. These are the 5 parts of Brahman. It is Asti, it is known, Bhati, it is dear, Priyam, and there is a form and a name, Rupam Nama Cha. I will read this whole thing again. At the same time, it is Guna Bhoktra. At the same time, Jnayam Brahma is the experiencer of the gunas. Guna Bhoktra. The 3 gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, create different types of experiences through the organs of perception. Sattva can create some sukha, some pleasure or peace. Rajas can account for all kinds of agitation, and tamas for delusion and dullness. Atma, which is Jnayam Brahma, is the enjoyer of all the various modifications of the gunas. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas cannot be enjoyed directly. It is their modifications that we enjoy. This means that we need not wait for Brahman to become something else in order to know it. Even when we are enjoying any particular experience, that experience is also Jnayam Brahma. It is because of Brahman alone that the experience is possible. Its existence is because of Sat. The experience of it is Chit, and any pleasure that there is Ananda. Elsewhere it is said, Asti Bhati Priyam Rupam Nama Cha Iti Amsha Panchakam. These are the 5 parts of Brahman. It is Asti, it is known, Bhati, it is dear, Priyam, and there is a form and a name, Rupam Nama Cha. The namas and rupas vary.
Jai Gurudev, Dr. Brahma, just a small, just a simple, very small query. A person who is tamasic or who is not dharmic, so any whatever experience he has, that experience would be also called Nayam Brahma, right?
Correct. It is just that he's not aware. It's just that he doesn't have this understanding that experience is nothing but the experience because of Brahman.
Because of Brahman, right.
He's got such a thick cloud of ignorance there, that it's such a thick cloud of ignorance. See, all this is because of ignorance. Otherwise, all of us will be enlightened, no? If we are able to see that the one that is experiencing is nothing but Brahma.
Yes.
The thing is,
right.
we identify that the experiencer as I, the small I, that
Small
is
I.
clouded with ego, and so we are in that limited shell. We have to break free from that shell.
Yeah.
Of that small, that Hridaya Granthi, if you remember, the Jiva and the Brahma are knotted in the heart chakra, the heart region, with that ignorance. That avidya is the one that binds them, that creates that knot. So once that avidya is gone, then Jiva and Brahma are the same. There is no difference.
Thank you.
And this layer of ignorance can vary from person to a tamasic person. has a very thick layer of ignorance. Whereas a person who's very sattvic, like, people who are on the path to moksha, who are onto the path, like all of us, the ignorance is there, but it is thinner than that of a tamasic person. But it is still there, which is why we are not able to get that complete recognition.
And it is a modification of that three gunas also. Satchitanam. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, because it is there because of the Sat, and we experience it because of the Chit, means Sat Chit, and then we enjoy or don't enjoy it is because of the, means whatever we feel because of that the Brahman only. So whatever experience is there is only because of the Brahman in anyone, deluded or happy or anyone.
If you look at this, it is actually as a concept, of course, and as an experience, as a recognition, may take some time, but then as a concept, isn't it beautiful? Actually, everything that
Really
is
beautiful.
Brahman, which is why Gurudev keeps saying you don't need to do anything to gain liberation. You just have to let go. Let go of this identification with. When you let go, what remains is just that is. Asti bhati priyam. That is it. That is why off late in the last meditation that he did, there was that. I think in the World Culture Festival, there was in that wisdom series, he had done this beautiful meditation of look at people without the face. The mind has no face. The problem comes when we identify that nama and rupa, and we get entangled in the world. But if we remove that nama and rupa, what remains is only asti bhati priyam, satyam jnanam anantam, or anandam. The nama rupas vary, but Brahman is invariable. There is nothing that is outside of this because everything is Brahman. The first three are invariable because they are the Swarupa of Brahman. The first three meaning Asti, Bhati, Priyam. The last two, that is Nama Rupa, vary, but the first three invariably inhere in them. A flower, for example, exists, is known, is loved, and has a name and form. Everything that even things that are not loved are priya because your aversion to them only reflects the fact that the absence of ananda is against your nature. This, even things that are not loved are priya because your aversion to them only reflects the fact that the absence of ananda is against your nature. This asti bhati priyam is common to all in all objects. What differs is the nama rupa called jagat. It is because of sat, known because of chit, and imbued with joy because of ananda. Therefore, in any object, there is sat, chit, ananda. You need not wait for nirgunam brahma to arise because you are not away from Brahman, the experiencer of all experiences. There is no transcending everything to experience Brahman. Whether you are Sukhi, Dukhi, or anything, it is all Jneyam Brahma. Here we have a number of seeming paradoxes. A logical paradox can exist only when we are dealing with two things of the same order of reality. Because these deal with Satya and Mithya, they are not true paradoxes. We will see two more such paradoxes in the following verse. Do you want me to repeat the Nama Rupas vary? I will repeat this. There is nothing, the Nama Rupas vary, but Brahman is invariable. There is nothing that is outside of this because everything is Brahman. The first three are invariable because they are the Swarupa of Brahman. The last two vary, but the first three invariably inhere in them. A flower, for example, exists. That is asti, is known, bhati, is loved, priyam, and has a name and form, nama and rupa. Even things that are not love are priya because your aversion to them only reflects the fact that the absence of ananda is against your nature. This is something I did not really understand. This asti bhati priyam is common in all objects. What differs is the nama rupa called jagat. It is because of sat, known because of chit, and imbued with joy because of ananda. Therefore, in any object, there is sat chit ananda. You need not wait for nirgunam brahma to arise because you are not away from Brahman, the experiencer of all experiences. There is no transcending everything to experience Brahman. Whether you are Sukhi, Dukhi, or anything, it is all Jnayam Brahma. Here we have a number of seeming paradoxes. A logical paradox can exist only when we are dealing with two things of the same order of reality. Because these deal with Satya and Mithya, they are not true paradoxes. We will see two more such paradoxes in the following verse. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charameva cha sukshmatvat tadavijneyam durastham chantike cha tat. Bahihi, outside, antahacha, and inside, bhutanam, of beings, acharam, what does not move, charam evacha, and indeed what moves, sukshmatvat, because it is subtle, tat avijneyam, that is not known, cha tat, and that durastham is far, cha antike, and near. Bahihi antaha cha bhutanam acharam charamev cha sukshmatvat tat avijneyam cha tat durastham cha antike cha. And that Jnayam Brahma is outside and inside of the beings. It is that which does not move, and indeed what moves. Because it is subtle, it is not known, and it is far as well as near. Brahman is both inside and outside. Generally, if something is inside, that means it is not outside. Here, the Jnaya Vastu, the thing to be known, is both inside and outside. The terms inside and outside have no meaning unless you establish a reference. A car, for example, may be outside the house but inside the compound. When he says that Jnayam Brahma, which is Atma, is both inside and outside, with reference to what? Is it inside and outside? Shankara very beautifully says here that outside is what is excluded from eye, keeping the body up to the skin as the limit. This is what anyone refers to generally when he says something is outside of him. Keeping the physical body as the limit, what is inside is antaha, the prana, the pranamaya, etc. This is a setup for the jiva, and the jiva takes his body with the skin as the outer limit, as his self I, and everything outside of this limit as not I, not self. Brahman, as Jagat Parana, is thought to be outside the physical body of all beings, Bhutanam Bahihi, that is, the entire external world, known and unknown. But Brahman is not different from Atma. Thus, Brahman, the Chaitanya Atma, is both inside and outside, being limitless and the cause of everything, as the rope is the cause for the snake. Whatever is outside is Param Brahma. Whatever is inside is also Param Brahma, giving its existence and consciousness to everything. I'll just read this one para and then we'll close for now. Brahman is both Chara and Achara, but the physical body itself has been omitted. By saying Acharam Charame Vacha, he covers everything. Achara is that which does not move volitionally, like the mountains, etc. The whole cosmos is moving, in fact, but the movement that is meant here is that caused by volition. Or volition is your voluntary, your will. All the creatures, human beings and animals move, but not the trees. They do have a particular movement due to growth or the wind, but they are rooted in one place. Similarly, a river moves, but we cannot say it is chara because it does not move of its own volition. It is a mechanical movement.
What is volition?
Volition is your voluntary act. It's your by will. You will
Means,
the movement and therefore you do it. You move your hand, you move your legs out
oh,
of
your
your will.
will.
Whereas mountains, rivers, they all have movement, but they don't do it out of their volition. When a mosquito flies, however, this is chara. The physical body is also chara. So now there is nothing left out. The Sukshma Sharira is identified with the physical body and therefore it is available for volitional movement. The dead physical body, however, becomes achara. As is said in Purusha Sukta, Purusha indeed is all this. Whatever was and whatever will be, Purusha eva idam sarvam yad bhutam yaccha bhavyam. There is nothing that can stand outside existence, Sat. Once I say an object is, and that is Brahman. How does it exist? As a pot, as space, as time, as the sun, as the moon. This is a qualification, Nama Rupa, which is superimposed upon Brahman, like the snake upon the rope or the pot on the clay. The whole pot is nothing but clay. But then there is such a thing as Nama Rupa. Similarly, the entire creation has its being in Sadatma, which is Satyam Brahma. This is how Brahman is to be recognized.
Can you please repeat last 2-3 lines?
Yeah, I will repeat this paragraph. Brahman is both Chara and Achara. But the physical body itself has been omitted. By saying Acharam Charame Vacha, he covers everything. Achara is that which does not move volitionally, like the mountains, etc. The whole cosmos is moving, in fact, but the movement that is meant here is that caused by volition. All the creatures, human beings, and animals move, but not the trees. They do have a particular movement due to growth or the wind, but they are rooted in one place. Similarly, a river moves, but we cannot say it is chara because it does not move of its own volition. It is a mechanical movement. When a mosquito flies, however, this is chara. The physical body is also chara. So now there is nothing left out. The Sukshma Sharira is identified with the physical body and therefore it is available for volitional movement. The dead physical body, however, becomes achara. As is said in Purusha Sukta, Purusha indeed is all this, whatever was and whatever will be. Purusha eva idam sarvam yad bhutam yaccha bhavyam. There is nothing that can stand outside existence, Sat. Once I say an object is, and that is Brahman. How does it exist? As a pot, as space, as time, as the sun, as the moon. This is a qualification, Nama Rupa, which is superimposed upon Brahman, like the snake upon the rope or the pot on the clay. The whole pot is nothing but clay. But then there is such a thing as Nama Rupa. Similarly, the entire creation has its being in Sadatma, which is Satyam Brahma. This is how Brahman is to be recognized. Let's close our eyes and just reflect on all that we have learned. Listen. We covered these two verses today. सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासं सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृच्चैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च. That Brahman appears as the attributes of all organs, is free from all the organs, is unattached and is the sustainer of all, is free from the three qualities and is the experiencer of all the three qualities. Bahirantascha bhutanaṁ acharamaeva cha sukshmatvat tadavijneyam durastham chantike cha tat. And that Jneyam Brahma is outside and inside of the beings. It is that which does not move, and indeed what moves. Because it is subtle, it is not known, and it is far as well as near. Let's share our understanding.
What exactly is the meaning of name? I keep forgetting that.
Jneyam is that which is known, that is to be known. Jneyam Brahma.
What? I couldn't hear it.
The very first the whole chapter starts with Arjuna's asking the question, what is Jnayam, what is Jnanam, what is Kshetrajna. So this
Yeah.
Jnayam Brahma is nothing but the Kshetrajna.
Uh,
Kshetra is everything outside of, is all the world, the Jagat, including your body, the five physical, the set of sense organs, all of that is the Kshetra. Kshetrajna is the same as the Jnayam Brahma. Jnanam Jnayam.
so no, my question is, why is Jnanam and Neyam different? Because Jnanam is knowledge, no? Knowledge about both the Kshetra and the Kshetrajna. Am I right?
Right.
Then what is Neyam?
That which is to
That
be
can be
known.
known.
That which is to be known. That is the Jnayam Brahma.
Jnana includes all that we read, no? That antakarna, that body-mind
Nee,
complex.
jnana is
That's
that
what jnana.
gayagna.
Somaji is asking what is jnana and gnayam. Na? So gnayam is it's what to be known, and that is that kshetragya. And jnana is the kshetra, which like
No,
No,
we read,
Jnana
no,
is
that
everything, I thought.
jnana is everything. Jnana is the Shuddha Antakarana, the qualities,
yeah,
and
that is what I was saying. No, antakarna and all the qualities we read before.
correct,
That is
Amanitva,
the
Dhammitva.
jnana. Yeah, that was jnana.
But that is alone not jnana.
Yeah,
Using that, having that qualities, then there is that the seat is created for jnana to dawn,
yeah, that preparedness
the
for
preparedness, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
jnana is actually the merging of Shiva and Atma. That is jnana, where you see the whole Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. That is jnana. If you're able to get that, that is jnana. Whereas Jnayam is that which is to be known. This what the Shruti is talking about. No, that is the Jnayam Brahma. See, we have to, in order to get to the Brahman, in order to recognize Brahman, you need the Shabda Pramana. Otherwise, how will you get to know? We read this several
Yeah,
shlokas.
understood. So this is my conclusion of Neyam. Jnanam is to know all the attributes of your purity and all that, which is equivalent to that state of that supreme being. But your experience of that is Neyam. Am I right? You're not your experience. Your existential, you know it. That is okay. Okay, I think I understood what Neyam is for now.
Right.
Example of a skin was given, no? That what is outside and what is inside. In
Yeah.
this, that was very nice.
Isn't it? We identify ourselves, and the limit of this I, the jiva, the small I, is the skin. Anything outside of that, you consider as not I. Whereas Brahman is there inside and outside. Which is why, see, when we have the Sarvatma Bhava, you're coming as close to that understanding Brahman. Because you feel, you empathize with everything, whether it is Chara, Achara. you have that, your sense of I can expands, that belongingness expands, rather than just stuck with your skin and say, this is my limit. You're expanding your limits, expanding your boundaries.
Okay, thank you. Understood now.
Which is why when you're, which is why this chara achara, it is not just those chara that Brahman is. He is there in chara achara, both. Chara is that which volitionally moves out of will. Achara, all those that don't move out of will, but they still move. Like the river, the mountains, the whole cosmos itself is in a state of flux, in a state of movement. So, Brahman is in and through all of that. Which is why when a person, which is why looking after the environment is so important. Like how we expand our belongingness and include all other living beings and get that Sarvatma Bhava. When you expand that belongingness to the Achara Jagat as well, the mountains, the rivers, the earth, the trees, you're being so environmentally sensitive, then that is also helping us come as close to um, understanding that we are Brahman, which makes so much of sense. All the initiatives that Gurudev has started, river rejuvenation, natural farming, environment protection, so much. I mean, he considers both the chara and achara aspects there, even as much as recycling. See, it's all becoming sensitive. The whole thing is about just becoming aware and sensitive. Saralaji says, Jnanam, Jnana, Jnata. Are you meaning to say something? Saralaji, if you want, you can explain.
Gayam means whatever you can be known. Jnana means you get that jnana, means you know that. And the Gyata means who is knowing or experiencing.
And when we come from this space of understanding that Brahman is inside and outside, then, following dharma will become so easy. Is that you don't do to others what you don't want others to do to you. So you don't want to be hurt. Therefore, so with this understanding, all those qualities, amanitva, dambitva, ahimsa, kshanti, all of that actually become quite easy to follow. It is like those, they complement one another. Isn't it? It is this isolation that we think I am limited by my skin, and that ahankara is there saying only this is I am, everything else I am not. So once that merges, once that distinction dissolves, then life is so beautiful.
That bhajan is there, no? Sarvam Brahmamayam Re.
Right. Beautiful. Sarvam Brahmamayam Re. Sarvam Brahmamayam. Sarvam Brahmamayam Re. Sarvam Brahmamayam. Sarvam Brahmamayam Re. Sarvam Brahma. I think we'll stop here today. We'll continue tomorrow. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.